Captain of the North Branch team is Bob Peplinski. Bob is a junior, member of the National Honor Society. He's also on the golf team, the drum major for the band. He enjoys ice hockey and roller hockey as well. He's unsure in college right now, but he wants to pursue a career in music. Rounding out the North Branch team is Chris Pratt. Chris is a junior, member of the Philosophy Club. Computer programming, writing, poetry, band, and singing are among his hobbies. He will attend Michigan State and then on to Harvard, majoring in English literature and minoring in philosophy. Those are our players from North Branch. The team is coached by Gordon Winther, and alternates for the team include Jim Schleicher, Josh Meyer, Mike Snee, and John Stalker. We welcome you from North Branch to this quarterfinal game as we welcome back our team from Owosso. There we have Justin Horvath. Justin is a junior, member of the French club. He plays tennis. He's on the math and science team as well. He's looking on a college career at Notre Dame. He's undecided on a major field of study at this point. Captain of the team is Jeff Geringer. Jeff is a senior, a member of the Honor Society tennis team and editor of the yearbook. He will be studying architecture at the University of Michigan. Next is Brian Talby. Brian is a junior at Owosso, plays tennis. He's active in the drama club. He's been named Student of the Month. He's also a member of the math and science team and is undecided right now on college and career track. Rounding out the Owosso team is Catherine Herbruck. Catherine is a sophomore, plays piano. She's involved with the art club, enjoys writing. She is an OAMTA scholarship recipient for piano. She's undecided on a school right now, but intends on a career in writing. Those are our players from Owosso. The team is coached by Mary Harper. Their alternates include Ryan Painter, Gregory Gietzen, Kathy Gabe, Amy Johnson, Phil Hampton, and Jeremy Burns. So we welcome all of you. We remind you that our judge for this quarterfinal game of High School Challenge this season is from here at WFUM, Ray Miller. And our timekeeper, scorekeeper for this game is Hava Tankersley. Teams, we're ready to go. Here's your rules for round one. About to ask you a series of questions worth 10 points apiece. The player buzzing first may answer when I recognize you. If you're correct, your team scores the 10 points. If you're incorrect, the other team gets a shot at the same question. Remember, you may interrupt me anytime I'm asking a question. There's no point penalty if you're incorrect. However, at that point, I'll repeat the entire question for the other team. Good luck. They were first found in 1856 near Dusseldorf, Germany, in the valley of the Neander River. What were these? Brian Owosso.
Neanderthals?
Neanderthals is correct. Here's your next toss-up. In the Bible, it was 21.8 inches. For the Chris North Branch.
Cubit.
A cubit is correct. Remember, please applaud, audience. Cocaine and morphine are now known to be addictive drugs, but their properties were not so well known in the late 19th century when this literary detective indulged in Brian Owosso.
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes is correct. It's the driest state in the United States with an average annual rainfall. Justin Owosso.
Nevada.
Nevada is correct. You are standing in a building of white marble in a modified Pantheon form. You're facing a statue of a United States president sculpted by Rudolph Evans. Rob, North Branch.
Lincoln Memorial.
That's incorrect. You're standing in a building of white marble in modified Pantheon form. You're facing a statue of a U.S. president sculpted by Rudolph Evans. Your back is to East Potomac Park and the tidal basin. Where are you? Catherine Owosso.
Jefferson Memorial.
Jefferson Memorial is the next one. Your next toss-up. The paper was entitled On the Electrodynamics of Moving Bodies, a modest title for a revolutionary hypothesis. What special theory did this 1905 paper propose? Brian Owosso.
The theory of relativity.
That's the correct answer. Your next toss-up, teams. Becky Sharp is the calculating heroine of William Makepeace Thackeray. Catherine Owosso.
Vanity Fair.
Vanity Fair is correct. It lasted 9 months in 1892 and was directed against the Carnegie Steel Company. It was eventually Adam, North Branch.
Homestead Strike.
That's correct. The Manchus forced it on the Chinese as a mark of conquest. What is this hairstyle called? Jeff Owosso.
A tail.
That's a correct answer. The Uffizi Museum is in Florence, Italy. The Rijksmuseum is found in Amsterdam. In what city is the Prado located? Justin Owosso.
Vienna.
That's incorrect. North Branch. Bob?
Madrid.
Madrid is correct. Founded by Oliver Kelly, a clerk in the Department of Agriculture, its purpose was to promote social and political organization among farmers. By 1875, it had over 1.5 million members. What was it? Jeff Owosso.
The Socialist Party.
That's incorrect. You may take a North Branch. North Branch, Bob.
The Grange.
The Grange is correct. I would have accepted Grange or Patrons of Husbandry. Here's your next toss-up. Raised by coyotes, he rode a horse named Widowmaker. Chris, North Branch.
Pecos Bill.
Pecos Bill is correct. Lord Peter Wimsey is an English aristocrat who solves mysteries in novels such as Strong Poison and Murder Must Advertise. Who created Lord Peter? Catherine Owosso.
Chesterton.
That's incorrect. North Branch. North Branch, Bob.
Doyle.
Also incorrect. Dorothy L. Sayers is the correct answer. And here's another toss-up. Beowulf comes to the halls of Hrothgar to battle a monster with Jeff Owosso.
Grendel.
Grendel is correct. In 1790, it was 23 miles east of Baltimore. It moved west, and by Jeff Owosso.
The center of the United States. Geographic center.
That's incorrect. In 1790, it was 23 miles east of Baltimore. It moved west, and by 1900, it was 6 miles southeast of Columbus, Indiana. By 1970, it had moved to southern Illinois. What is this shifting United States demographic statistic? Chris, North Branch.
Population center of the United States.
Center of population, that's correct. Here's another toss-up, teams. In the year 1054, a distant star went supernova and was for time so brilliant that it could be seen on Earth in daylight. What nebula was created by this Rob, North Branch?
The
Bob.
Crab Nebula.
Crab Nebula is correct. He wears a hat with 3 plumes and a doublet with 3 points. His cloak behind him, his long sword cocked like the tail of a strutting chanticleer. And to complete this figure, such a nose. My lords, Justin Owosso.
Cyrano de Bergerac.
That's correct. Established by executive order of FDR, this New Deal program included the Federal Arts Project, the Federal Writers Project, and the Federal Theater Project. What was the WPA? Bob, North Branch.
Works Progress Administration.
That's correct. Each state in the United States has a state tree. What is the national tree of the United States? Jeff Owosso.
The oak.
That's incorrect. North Branch. North Branch, Bob.
The olive tree.
It's incorrect. The sequoia, or redwood tree. Correct answer. Here's your next toss-up, teams. A planet's speed around the sun depends on its distance from the sun. Whose second law says Justin Owosso?
Newton.
Incorrect. A planet's speed around the sun depends on its distance from the sun. Whose second law says so? Adam, North Branch.
Kepler's.
Kepler is correct. This is another toss-up. This is my letter to the world that never wrote to me. Catherine Owosso.
Anne Frank.
That's incorrect. This is my letter to the world that never wrote to me. Who wrote this poetic line and more than 1,000 other short poems? Clint, North Branch.
Dickinson.
Dickinson is correct. Because he tried to control the excesses of certain big businessmen, conservatives called this president a trust buster. Jeff Owosso.
Teddy Roosevelt.
That's correct. In the year 802,701, the world is divided between the ape-like Morlocks who live underground. Clint, North Branch.
Wells is the time machine?
That's correct. The United States has Uncle Sam. The English have John Bull. What European country has as its symbol a young woman named Marianne in Revolutionary cap? Brian, Owosso, you may answer.
France.
France is correct. And behind that, you heard the buzzer. That ends round one and brings our game to a tie. And in a tiebreaker toss-up before our game, North Branch won the opportunity to go first in such a situation. So North Branch, this is round two. I'm about to give you a choice of 3 categories. Once you've selected, you'll have 60 seconds to answer up to 10 questions in that category. Remember, you may consult during this round. You don't have to buzz in. But I'll only be accepting the answers of Bob, your team captain. If you don't know an answer, you must say pass before I continue. You'll score 10 points for each correct answer, a 20-point bonus if all 10 are correct. North Branch, once your 60 seconds is up, Owosso, you'll have 30 seconds in which to answer any of the questions they missed, passed on, or didn't get to. North Branch, your choices for this game are second place, 1776, or 1 by 1.
Yeah, let's do that. 1 by 1? Sure.
1 by 1.
Okay, let's just take these quotations 1 by 1, shall we, for 10 points each. Or I'm sorry, I shouldn't say quotations, that would mislead you. Take these questions 1 by 1. For 10 points each, identify these words, sayings, and things, all beginning with the letters O-N-E. Okay, so remember that your answers will all begin with O-N-E. And in just a second, we'll begin this. We're set at, ready to go? Here we go. First, number 1, it's a short play.
1-act play.
Correct. It's a snappy joke.
One-liner.
1-liner.
Correct. It's one way of playing basketball.
1-on-1.
Correct. Unilateral.
One-sided.
One-sided.
1-sided.
Correct. Playwright who wrote Long Day's Journey into Night.
O'Neill. Yeah.
Correct. Another name for a slot machine.
One-arm bandit.
1-armed bandit.
Correct. Famous signals used by Paul Revere.
One lantern.
That's incorrect. Ken Kesey wrote it. Jack Nicholson.
One flew over the cuckoo's nest.
That's correct. Absolutely certain odds.
100%.
Correct. The most famous novel by Gabriel Garcia Marquez.
100 Years of Solitude.
That's correct. And that's 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
30 seconds, Owosso. Famous signals used by Paul Revere.
It's 1 if by land, 2 if by sea.
Okay. 1 if by land, 2 if by sea.
That's the full answer I needed there. And so that's 10 points for Owosso. And now, Owosso, you may select between second place or 1776.
Second place.
Okay, to listen to these instructions carefully now. A state's capital is often its largest city. I'm going to give you the second largest city of a state for 10 points each. What city is both the capital of the state and its largest city? Okay? Now, just so you know, I'm going to be giving you, for the second largest city, only the city's name. Okay, so you're not going to be able to do this just by knowing the capitals of states. Okay, here we go. We begin with number 1, Tucson.
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Correct. Fort Wayne.
Indianapolis.
So Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
Correct. Fort Smith.
Was it Virginia? What? Okay. So Little Rock.
Little Rock.
Correct. Cleveland.
Ohio. So
Columbus.
Correct. Hilo.
Honolulu.
Correct. Provo.
Utah. So that would be
Salt Lake City.
Correct. Biloxi.
that's Mississippi. So Jackson.
Jackson.
Correct. Casper.
That's Wyoming. So Cheyenne.
Cheyenne.
Correct. Warwick.
Massachusetts.
So
Boston.
Boston.
Incorrect. Cedar Rapids.
Iowa. So that's Des Moines.
Des Moines.
That's correct. And you also scored 9 out of 10. And that means North Branch, you will now have 30 seconds. Here we go. The second largest city is Warwick.
Maybe like,
Connecticut, maybe. I have no
That's a
idea.
big one.
it could be Connecticut or something like that.
Go for it.
Boise.
I think
Boise?
Incorrect. The other end of the country. You think you know it now? Oh, I thought I heard some gasp over here. Providence, Rhode Island is the answer there. That will bring us an end to a round 2 with a lot of points scored. We'll total up those points and be back for some extra credit right after this.
The challenge for every neurosurgeon is how to penetrate the blood-brain barrier that protects the brain from toxins and chemicals. This surgeon has an answer. Next time on The New Explorers, one doctor outsmarts the brain.
Join us Wednesday night at 8.
Next time on Nova. Tsar Nicholas and his family are brutally executed. But did they all die? These bones can solve the mystery of Anastasia, dead or alive.
This is viewer-supported WFUM, Flint.
Well, welcome back, everybody. And as you can see, we have the kind of game you would expect to have in a quarterfinal round. Very close indeed, and now anything can happen. This is our extra credit round, teams. As you know, you'll begin by answering a toss-up question worth 10 points, just as you did in round 1. The difference being you also earn the right at 10 points worth of extra credit with an additional question. Remember, on the extra credit questions, you don't have to buzz in. You may consult. I'll be taking the answer from the team captain. Consult on extra credit questions only and not on toss-ups. And I remind you, when our buzzer sounds at the end of the game, if we're in the middle of a toss-up extra credit cycle, we play through the entire cycle. Good luck. Here we go. In some versions of the story of Lernia Hydra, in some of the versions of the story Lernia Hydra had 100 heads. Who killed this beast? Brian Owosso.
Hercules.
Hercules is correct. Owosso, this is your extra credit. Looking for Renoir's luncheon of the boating party, you'll find it in the Duncan Phillips Collection, America's first modern art museum, between P and Q Streets near DuPont Circle. In what city?
All right.
Philadelphia.
It's incorrect. Washington, D.C. It's the correct answer. Here's another toss-up. H2O is probably the most familiar chemical formula. What 18th century French chemist discovered that water was made up of hydrogen? Justin Owosso. That's correct. Your extra credit, Owosso. It has bright blue cheeks, a red nose, greenish brown and yellow fur, and a bright pink bottom. What is this unusual monkey of Western Africa?
Is it the baboon?
Okay. This is
Mandrill. Mandrill.
Mandrill is correct. Your next toss-up, teams. In his work and his life, he created a new kind of hero. Defiant, melancholy. Chris, North Branch.
An anti-hero?
Pardon me?
Anti-hero?
It's incorrect. In his work and his life, he created a new kind of hero. Defiant, melancholy, brooding, haunted. Who was this romantic poet? Catherine Owosso.
Robert Browning.
It's incorrect. Lord Byron is the correct answer. Another toss-up, teams. Manuscript, manage, and command all come from the Latin word manus. What does Brian Owosso?
Hand.
Hand is correct. Owosso, your extra credit. Syzygy is the term astronomers use to refer to an occasion when three heavenly bodies are arranged in a straight line. It's an unusual event and a word with an unusual spelling. Spell syzygy.
SYSSOGY.
Incorrect. It is S-Y-Z-Y-G-Y. Here's another toss-up. Ronald Reagan called the MX missile the Peacekeeper. What similar nickname did law officers on the frontier give to the Chris North Branch?
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker to the Colt revolver. North Branch, your extra credit. Every 3 or 4 years, a population explosion forces these Arctic rodents to migrate in search of food. When they reach the ocean, many of them drown. What is this animal which has become the symbol for marching mindlessly to extinction?
Lemmings.
Lemmings is correct. Another toss-up, teams. The prime ministers of Israel often have to defend their policies before the Israeli legislature. What is that legislative body? Jeff Owosso.
The Kerr.
That's incorrect. North Branch, you may take it. North Branch, Adam.
Sanhedrin.
It's incorrect. Knesset is the answer. Here's another toss-up. The three-toed sloth, the pygmy marmoset, the caiman, and the piranha. On what continent will you... Brian Owosso.
South America?
South America is correct. Owosso, your extra credit. He lived in the 18th century BC and created the first known code of laws. Who was this Babylonian ruler?
Hammurabi.
Hammurabi.
I can't accept that. I think it's Hammurabi is the correct answer. Here's another toss-up. It includes some of the fastest growing areas of the country and extends from California to Florida. The attractive climate of these southern and southwestern states. Justin Owosso.
Sunbelt?
Sunbelt is correct. Your extra credit, Owosso. A 130-foot statue of Christ the Redeemer stands on Mount Corcovado overlooking this South American city. What is this city of 9 million on Guanabara Bay?
Sao Paulo.
That's incorrect. Correct answer is Rio de Janeiro. Here's your next toss-up. It was established in 1768 under the patronage of King George III. Sir Joshua Reynolds was its first president. What is this honorary society for English artists? Time's up. Royal Academy of Art is the answer. Here's another toss-up. This phylum contains more species than all other animal groups combined. It contains the centipede, the grasshopper, and the spike. Bob, North Branch.
Arthropod.
That's correct. North Branch, your extra credit. Year after year, this state's adults weigh in as the fattest in the nation, probably due to the heavy diet of the state's best-known products, cheese, butter, and bratwurst.
Wisconsin.
What is America's Dairyland?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin is correct. Another toss-up. What Babbitt did for American businessmen and Elmer Gantry did for evangelists, this novel did for doctors. Chris, North Branch.
Aerosmith.
Aerosmith is correct. North Branch, your extra credit. In 1971, at the age of 90, he became the first living artist to have his work hung in the Louvre. Today, he has his own museum in Paris. Who was this modern master?
Picasso.
That's correct. Another toss-up. The reciprocal of 3/4 is 4/3. What is the reciprocal of the decimal 0.125? Adam, North Branch.
8.
8 is correct. North Branch, your extra credit. One of the best-loved 19th century American poets, he was a fervent abolitionist both before and during the Civil War. Who was this author of Snowbound and Barbara Fritchie?
Whittier. Yeah.
Whittier is correct. Your next toss-up, teams. Music is full of Italian terms, but the language of ballet is largely taken from another language. Catherine Owosso.
French.
French is correct. Owosso, your extra credit. This emperor helped bring about the death of Tiberius and was finally murdered by supporters of Claudius. Who ruled Rome between 37 and 41 AD? Time's up. It's Caligula. Is the answer. Here's another toss-up, teams. Larger than a skunk and smaller than a wolverine, it is a ferocious carnivore with short, thick legs and long claws in its forefeet. Chris, North Branch.
Badger.
Badger is correct. North Branch, your extra credit. In the 15th and 16th century, its ships made it one of the richest countries in Western Europe. Now it's the poorest. What is this country on the Iberian Peninsula?
Yeah, Portugal.
Portugal.
Portugal is correct. There is the bell, and the score behind me, if correct, in an incredibly well-played game. North Branch has come out on top and will again move on to our Final Four. Owosso, a tough one to lose, but in retrospect, a terrific season for you. We congratulate both of our teams and look forward to our next quarterfinal match. I'll be back with that in a moment. I'm Jim Gaber. Nice game. Good season. Good game.